Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's breaking story comes from the Middle East, where shocking and unverified reports are circulating that Qatar has allegedly declared plans to strike back at Israel. This claim, which has not been officially confirmed by Doha or any credible international source, has still sent waves of concern across the region and raised tensions to a new level. In this video, we will take a closer look at what's being reported, the possible reasons behind it, and how this could reshape the already fragile balance of power in the Middle East. According to the reports circulating on various online platforms and social media, Qatar is said to be considering or even preparing a military response to what it calls Israeli aggression in Gaza and other parts of the Palestinian territories. These claims come at a time when Israel's military operations in Gaza have faced widespread condemnation across the Arab world, with Qatar being one of the most vocal critics of Israel's actions. While these reports remain unverified, they have sparked speculation about how far Qatar would be willing to go in its support for the Palestinian cause and whether this could mark the beginning of a new phase in the regional conflict. Qatar has long positioned itself as a mediator in Middle Eastern affairs, maintaining relations with both Western countries and regional actors like Iran, Hamas, and the Taliban. However, its open political and financial support for the Palestinian movement has often placed it at odds with Israel. In recent years, Qatar has played a major role in funding humanitarian aid and reconstruction efforts in Gaza, often working through agreements brokered by Egypt and the United Nations. But the tone coming from Doha in recent weeks has grown noticeably harsher, particularly after a series of Israeli airstrikes that reportedly killed hundreds of civilians and destroyed critical infrastructure. The unverified reports suggest that Qatar's leadership is deeply frustrated with what it perceives as the international community's failure to stop Israel's offensive. Sources circulating online claim that senior Qatari officials have discussed direct measures in response, which could range from military aid to militant groups to potential strikes on Israeli assets in the region. It's important to stress again that none of these claims have been confirmed, and Qatar's government has not made any official statement suggesting such intentions. Nevertheless, the idea alone is enough to set off alarms in diplomatic circles. Israel, for its part, has not issued any comment regarding these unverified threats, but has increased its state of alert. The Israeli Defense Forces are reportedly monitoring the situation closely, particularly any movement of weapons or military forces in the Gulf region. Israel's intelligence services, known for their extensive surveillance networks, are likely tracking communication channels and potential alliances that could signal hostile intent. While a direct military confrontation between Israel and Qatar seems unlikely given the geographical distance and Qatar's small military capacity, the potential for proxy conflict or cyber retaliation cannot be ruled out. From a strategic perspective, Qatar's alleged move would represent a dramatic shift in its foreign policy. Historically, Qatar has relied on diplomacy, soft power, and economic influence to navigate regional tensions. It hosts the largest US military base in the Middle East, Al Udeid Air Base, which plays a key role in Washington's operations across the region. Any aggressive stance against Israel would put Qatar in direct conflict, not only with Tel Aviv, but also with its Western allies. It would also strain its relations with neighboring Gulf states, some of which have normalized ties with Israel under the Abraham Accords. Many analysts believe that if Qatar were to pursue any form of retaliation, it would most likely be indirect, through financial or logistical support to Palestinian resistance groups, rather than direct military action. Qatar has been accused in the past by some Western officials of funding Hamas, though Doha insists that its support is purely humanitarian. If these latest reports are part of a psychological or political strategy, Qatar could be sending a warning message rather than preparing for actual combat operations. It might be an attempt to pressure Israel and its allies to halt the ongoing campaign in Gaza and open the door for negotiations. Meanwhile, reactions from other regional players are mixed. Iran, which maintains close ties with Qatar and Hamas, might see this as an opportunity to encourage greater Arab unity against Israel. Turkey has also expressed strong support for the Palestinian cause and could potentially align rhetorically with Qatar if the situation escalates. On the other hand, countries like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates are likely to proceed with caution. Despite their criticism of Israel's recent actions, both nations have strategic interests that rely on maintaining regional stability and avoiding direct confrontation. The United States and European powers are likely watching these developments closely. Washington has deep strategic ties with both Qatar and Israel, and any sign of military hostility between the two would create a serious diplomatic crisis. The US would likely step in quickly to de-escalate tensions, urging both sides to avoid rash actions that could ignite a wider conflict. European nations, particularly those involved in humanitarian efforts in Gaza, would likely echo this stance, calling for restraint and dialogue. The global community, already overwhelmed by multiple ongoing conflicts, cannot afford another regional war in the Gulf. At the same time, we must also consider the information warfare aspect. In today's digital age, unverified reports can spread rapidly and influence public opinion long before facts are established. It's entirely possible that these claims about Qatar's alleged plans are part of a disinformation campaign designed to create confusion, sow fear, or push certain political agendas. Both Israel and its adversaries have a long history of using psychological and media operations to shape narratives and public perception. Until credible confirmation emerges, this story remains speculative but deeply concerning given the stakes involved. Even the suggestion of Qatar striking back at Israel signals a dangerous shift in the regional mood. The anger in Arab and Muslim countries over the humanitarian disaster in Gaza is palpable, and many governments are under pressure from their citizens to take stronger action. If Qatar, a country known for its diplomatic flexibility, is even considering direct confrontation, it could embolden others to adopt a more aggressive stance. This, in turn, risks escalating into a broader regional conflict involving multiple actors and potentially drawing in global powers. Ultimately, whether or not these reports turn out to be true, they highlight a critical point. The Middle East is standing on a knife's edge. Decades of unresolved tension, combined with new geopolitical rivalries and public outrage, have created a situation where even unverified rumors can trigger diplomatic crises or military buildups. The next few days will be crucial in determining whether Qatar issues a statement clarifying its position, or whether the speculation continues to spiral out of control. For now, all eyes are on Doha and Tel Aviv. If Qatar publicly denies these claims, it might calm the situation temporarily, but the underlying anger and frustration across the Arab world will not disappear. If, on the other hand, Qatar doubles down rhetorically, or takes tangible steps such as mobilizing forces or expelling diplomats, it could mark the start of a new and unpredictable phase in the Israel-Gaza conflict. As we continue to monitor this developing story, it's essential to separate facts from rumors. The situation remains fluid, and new information could emerge at any moment. Whether this turns out to be a misunderstanding, misinformation, or the first signs of a major geopolitical shift, one thing is clear. The Middle East is once again on the brink of something that could redefine regional alliances and global stability. Stay tuned as we bring you more updates and verified information as it becomes available.